Hello guys, welcome back to my channel ZeeReveal. So today guys, I'll be giving you guys the starlife series My Desire March 2023 teaser. So before I get into the video, don't forget to click the subscribe button to get a notification when I post a new video. Give me a thumbs up and share. Starlife My Desire March 2023 teasers. Wednesday 1st March, Mukia's goons come to Prisha's house and create a rampage. Witnessing the same, Ruja beats up the goons. Prisha really asks Raj to go away from her and Rohi's life and not to show his face again. On her way back home, Rohi gets kidnapped by Mukia's men. Thursday 2nd March, Raj saves Rohi from the kidnappers and she too likes his company. Later, Rohi asks Ruja to find a way to patch up things between her mom and Raj. Rohi takes Prisha to meet Yuvraj privately. On the other hand, Rudrak becomes Santa Claus and plays games with the children. Friday, 3rd March. Rudrak entertains the children with some fun activities. Also, a desperate Yuvraj puts forth an appeal in front of Prisha. Lucy accepts it. Prisha is taken aback after encountering Rudrak at a Christmas party. Later, Bunty meets Rudrak with a huge sum of money. Saturday, 4th March, Prisha confronts Yuvraj when he takes credit for paying her rent. Later, Yuvraj gets kidnapped by the notorious goons of the village. Rohi finds Yuvraj injured and takes him to Prisha for treatment. Later, Yuvraj plans to use Rohi to extort money from Rudraksh and Prisha. Sunday, 5th March, Rohi presents Rudraksh with a unique attire for the New Year's party. Later, Prisha feels insecure as Yuvraj attends the event with someone special. Prisha scolds Yuvraj for trying to impress her. Meanwhile, Rudrak disguises himself and escapes narrowly from the goons of the village. Monday, 6th March, Yuvraj saves Rohi from the firecrackers while Prisha takes her home. Later, Yuvraj ties Rohi's hair in a funny manner and sends her to school. Rohi vents her anger at Rudrak for his carelessness. Later, Rudrak takes help from Bunty and decides to host an event in Rohtak. Tuesday, 7th March, Prisha wants Yuvraj to stay away from her and Rohi's life. On the other hand, Rudrak performs for the young kids of Rohtak. While Rohi neglects Yuvraj, Prisha decides to take part in the contest to mint quick money. Later, Bunty surveys the women of Rohtak in search of Prisha. Wednesday, 8th March, while Rudrak escapes with Rohi, the goons trash Bunty for holding a contest. Meanwhile, Saranj and his friends arrive at Rohtak. Rohi guides Saranj when he gets lost from his friends. On the other hand, Bunty is filled with joy after meeting Prisha at her clinic. Thursday, 9th March, Bunty lies to Rudrak about Prisha and requests him to return to the Corona mansion. On the other hand, Yuvraj is taken aback after spotting Rudrak. An emotional Rudrak writes a letter for Rohi and departs from Rohtak. Meanwhile, Prisha rebukes Yuvraj after he secretly enters her house. Friday, 10th March, Vijanti turns suspicious over Bunty while Rudrak meets Rohi. In the meantime, Prisha meets with an accident at the market. Rudrak beats Rohi farewell before leaving Rohtak. However, upon learning about Rohi's mother's accident, he decides to accompany her to the hospital. Saturday, 11th March, while the goons belt Yuvraj, Rudrak has a narrow escape from the hospital. Later, Rudrak spends quality time with Rohi and Sachi. Vajanti informs Sharda about Bunty's strange behavior with her. Meanwhile, Rudrak plans to stay back and celebrate Lohiri with Rohi and in Rohtak. Sunday, 12th March, Yuvraj makes Rudrak unconscious and informs the Mukia. Later, Rohi and Rudrak get trapped inside the burning storeroom. As Rudrak breaks open the door and come out with an unconscious Rohi, he sees Prisha. Later, they are rushed to the hospital. Monday, 13th March, Prisha rushes to visit Rohi after she regains consciousness. While Prisha confesses the truth to Rudrak about Rohi, Vijanti arrives. Prisha gets Rohi discharged from the hospital and leaves discreetly for Shimla. Meanwhile, Rudrak searches for them after regaining consciousness. Tuesday, 14th March, Bunty confesses the truth to Shada and Vijanti while Rudrak is over the moon meeting Prisha. However, their happiness is short-lived as Yuvraj arrives. Prisha informs Rudrak that Rohi is Yuvraj's daughter. Enraged, he insults her and vows to hate her. Wednesday, 15th March, Rohi longs to meet Rudrak before she leaves for Rohtak. Meanwhile, Prisha lies to Shada about her feelings for Yuvraj and Rudrak. As Prisha searches the house for her, Rohi shows up in the back seat of Rudrak's car. Later, Rohi and Rudrak have a great time in the studio. Thursday, 16th March, the police barge into Rudrak's studio to arrest him at Yuvraj's command. On the other hand, Rohi is hospitalized after meeting with a severe head injury. Rohi insists on spending the night with Rudraj and Prisha at the hospital. Later, Rudraj and Prisha reminisce about their romantic moments together. Friday, 17th March. In an intoxicated state, Yuvraj notices Rohi and Prisha outside the hospital and decides to barge in to catch them red-handed. However, Rudraj outsmarts him and flees. Shada spots Vajanti in the hospital and quickly sends her away before seeing Rudraj. Later, Bunty has an idea to bring Prisha and Rudraj closer together. Saturday, 18th March, Rudraj and Prisha get into an accident as he gets distracted while driving. Later, they share a romantic moment after being stranded in the forest. While Prisha falls into a deep mud trench, Rudraj manages to save her. On the other hand, an anxious Rudraj tries to call Prisha. Sunday, 19th March, while Prisha and Rudraj find refuge for the night, and an awkward moment brings them closer. Elsewhere, Vajanti gets restless after Rudraj fails to return home. Rudraj and Prisha sing for Rohi in order to make her fall asleep quickly. Later, Rohi makes a shocking request to Prisha on their way back to the village. Monday, 20th March. As Prisha faces humiliation from the villagers, an inebriated Rudraj returns home and reminds Rohi of his love. Elsewhere, Saranj becomes anxious. Prisha returns Rudraj's money before departing from Rohtak. Meanwhile, Saranj strikes a remarkable idea and shares it with the family lawyer. Tuesday, 21st March, Saranj seeks Bunty's help and departs for Rohtak to meet Rohi. While the lawyer proposes the scholarship details, Prisha declines the proposal. Prisha changes her mind by accepting Rohi's scholarship offer and leaves for Delhi. Meanwhile, Yuvraj goes crazy as Prisha and Rohi are missing. Wednesday, 22nd March, Prisha and Rohi arrive in Delhi and visit the new house. Meanwhile, Saranj has a narrow escape when Rudraj desperately hunts for him. Rohi sneaks inside the Kurana mansion to meet Rudraj. After understanding reality, Rudraj confronts Prisha in her cabin at the Kurana school. Thursday, 23rd March, Rudraj admires Rohi as she stands her ground in front of the kids at her school. Later, Rudraj is on a mission to unearth a scam at the Kurana school. Prisha and Rudraj share some lovely moments with Rohi in the farmer's house. Eventually, they both highlight the scholarship program issue. Friday, 24th March. After locating Prisha with Rudraj, Yuvraj concocts a plan to kill the latter. Meanwhile, Prisha and Yuvraj follow a clerk involved in a school scam. Prisha and Rudraj and Bunty race against the clock and chase the pawn. On the other hand, the children mislead Rohi to the boys' washroom. Saturday, 25th March, Rudraj and Bunty visit a bank in search of the culprit connected with the Kurana school scholarship scam. Meanwhile, Saranj senses Prisha is around. Shada learns about Rohit's admission to the Kurana school. Later, Rudraj catches Prisha sneaking into the Kurana mansion at midnight. Sunday, 26th March. At midnight, Vajanti visits the Shrivans and informs them about Prisha's existence. Later, GPS and Vasunda meet Rohi in the school. While Vasunda tells Prisha not to address her as her mother, Saranj plans a surprise for Rudraj. Further, Rudraj spends quality time with Rohi and Saranj. Monday, 27th March, Prisha notified Rudraj about Bunty's hidden intentions and his connection to the Kurana school scholarship scam. Meanwhile, Bunty hunts for the crucial document. A suspicious Prisha questions Bunty for double-crossing Rudraj. While the police officers attempt to arrest Bunty, he makes an escape. Tuesday, 28th March, Prisha is glad to celebrate Valentine's Day with Rudraj, while Shada wants Vajanti to behave nicely. Later, Bunty intends to abduct Rohi from the school. Rudraj gets a hint that Bunty is to abduct Rohi and he informs Prisha about it. Later, Bunty, posed as the bus driver, gets tense as his plan flops. Wednesday, 29th March, Rudraj meets with an accident while he attempts to save the children from Bunty's wrath. Later, Saranj arrives at the spot with the students' parents. Rudraj comes to rescue Prisha and Rohi from the bus, but Bunty's vicious move makes them fall. Later, they are sent to the hospital. Thursday, 30th March, while Rohi's life is at stake, Rudraj orders Yuvraj to rush to the hospital. Later, Bunty makes an astonishing confession to Rudraj. Yuvraj's plan go awry as Rudraj donates blood and saves Rohi's life. Meanwhile, Bunty breathes a sigh of relief as Bubble's surgery went well. Friday, 31st March, Rudra forgives Bunty and manages to get Prisha arrested. Later, Saranj creates a fuss in front of the coroners as he departs to meet Prisha in prison. Rudraksh is baffled since Saranj managed to get Rohi discharged from the hospital. Later, Saranj takes Rohi to the coroner mansion.